Hi everyone, good morning, good day, good afternoon, good night. I just wanted to take some time to share something that has been, really heavy in my heart. And it might come in different videos because it's a lot. And it's about vision. I think I would say the priority of vision. Vision is one of those things that we don't really have a grasp of most times. Um, I know now that the most powerful force on earth is actually the power of vision. Like you can be on earth and see things that are not on earth. You can be on earth, and that's why the idea of man going to Mars and space became a feasibility, because as you can see it, then it can happen. Vision is the ability to see the invincible in order to do the impossible. So once you see something, you can do it. However, vision is usually given to a person, or can be executed by a group of people. And from Bible, God always gives a vision to a person, but there are corporate and there are personal visions. Corporate visions, I think, in my perspective, it's given to one person, but it's fulfilled by a people, and that's always because it is so big that you need a lot of people to do it. And then there are many examples of that even in scriptures. Jesus, who's our prototokos, had a vision, but the first thing after he was commissioned was that he had to look for a team that was going to work with him, even though the vision was given to him alone. And I really think that vision is a key to the future. Anything that you don't like, you need to look at the preferred option of what you think you want, and then look towards that preferred and fix your mind on it and get it happen, and not stay trapped in the present. So what is vision, you might ask me? I've learned now very deeply that English is not the primary translation of the Bible. So every time I see something in the Bible, I want to look at what the root word is. Vision from the Greek word means optical, which means coming into view or sight beyond sight. Coming into view or sight beyond sight. In other words, it means that what your eyes sees is different from what your heart sees. And so I would automatically take that to mean that there is eye vision, and then there's heart vision. That's your normal sight, what you see with your eyes, and there's the vision that you can conceive in your heart by the Spirit of God. So vision for me, I think, is an internalized, clear picture of an image of a preferable future that you consider worthy of pursuing. It is usually God's idea, but it can be clear because of people who come up with distortions, that some people can make a vision out of a fiction of their own imagination, which is why true vision in itself is born out of purpose. True vision is birth from purpose. And the difference between vision that is born from purpose and vision that you concoct yourself is that vision born out of purpose is tied to your destiny, and it will fulfill you. You will be fulfilled as you do that vision. But vision that is not born from purpose will frustrate you because it's not tied from your destiny, and you don't find fulfillment in it. So vision is seeing what you are born to do. It's a mixture of hindsight, your foresight, to curate what the future would look like. It hit me strongly also whilst I was thinking about it and just going through the different studies on this, that many times God will prepare you for a future by giving you a past that trains you for that future. And so never think that what you are going through or where you are in life now is a waste. Nah, there's a reason for it and there's a purpose for it. Vision should always be out of reach, but not out of sight. Because it's important that your vision is something that is bigger than you, that you are pursuing something that is bigger than you, which is why with vision that is born from God, you need God to fulfill it. They demand God's assistance to make it happen. So vision formed from God is bigger than your capacity to deal with them. Vision is that clear picture that you can write down the details of. Vision is also what keeps you from being depressed. So let me bring this back home. How does vision affect your life? When purpose is seen, vision is born. Vision is a glimpse of a person's purpose, and it is the key to an effective life. Vision is the source of hope because it is inspired by God, and it is blown into your spirit and it comes alive. And so, guess what? Vision is not ahead of you, your vision is inside of you. You were born with that vision, you were born with that purpose, but it is your responsibility to now discover it. Miles Monroe said something. He said, if God wanted to hide something from you, but he wanted to make sure you find it, he will hide it in a place that makes sure that you cannot miss it inside of you. So your vision is inside of you. Now let's look at Ephesians 3:20. It says, now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Not in heaven, not in your pastor, not anywhere else, in you. God wants to do what is inside of you, and what is inside of you is so big and huge that you don't even realize it. It's bigger than what you think you actually carry. He says he would do exceedingly above. It means that whatever you even ask for doesn't even cut it. It doesn't even encapsulate the totality of what you carry. You can think big, but even with your thinking big, God still wants to do more than what you can think. Your big dream can never threaten God. I'm realizing that every single day that, God has given us the permission to think big and dream big because he's not threatened by it. That's why vision really comes in phases as far as I've seen it, because if God was to show you everything that you were born to do, I'm sure that many of us will literally pass out, from the shock of the reality of what this is, That's why he even says, even if you imagine it, I can do more, because our brains cannot wrap itself around it. I feel like letting out a big shout, like, God is so good. God is so good. Meaning that whatever you are doing right now is only a fraction of what you will be doing when this whole thing called life is over. And if we think about it in that way, it means that you will realize that this fraction of what you're doing, you need to pay attention to it, because it's the sum of the different parts of everything that you're excited or you're being called to do. God calls it a fraction. As great as we think that, this big dream is, God calls it a fraction. So are you not excited to dream big? Are you not excited to dream big? That's why he gives this to us in phases, and that's why it's so critical that the power of vision demands discipline. And this is where I'm going to. When you get a vision from God, that vision literally takes over your life. I think it was Solomon in Proverbs 29:18, and I like how the different translations put it. ASV says, where there is no vision, the people cast off restraint, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. KJV puts it and say, where there is no vision, the people perish. AMPC says, where there is no vision, no redemptive revelation of God, the people perish. But he who keeps the law of God, which includes that of man, blessed, happy, fortunate, and enviable is he. We would go maybe in another session that I will be released to share, speaking about the redemptive revelation of God. The Good News Translation says, where there is no vision, the people decay, but he that keepeth the law is blessed. If I go back to the root word of the people perish, the word perish there does not mean to die. The word perish is a Hebrew word which means to throw off restraint or to throw off self-control, no self-discipline. And this is very important, very, very critical, for us. Solomon admonishes that where there is no vision, where, any place, any environment, any situation, people lose self-discipline. So it can be an individual who lacks vision. It can be a family who lacks vision. It can be an organization who lacks vision. It can be a community who lacks vision. It can be a nation. Where there is no vision, then there is no discipline. The people become wild. They do anything and everything because there is no vision. So according to what Solomon, wrote here, it means that vision is what makes you organize your life. Vision sort of imprisons you so you can fulfill it. And that's why I always say to my friend that it's dangerous to find vision. Because if you really truly find your vision, you might lose some friends. Vision is the source of self-discipline, and that's why when a person truly, in their heart of hearts, discover their vision, they become a leader, because it automatically takes you to a leadership development. Because I think that leadership is discovering something that is worth dying for, pursuing something that makes you self-controlled. So a man or a woman who has vision tends to live a narrow life, a tunnel vision kind of life, eyes fixed like a flint on what they need to do. You can't sway them. You can't change their minds. You can't, ask them to do X, Y, and move them from left to right. No. Their eyes is straight on what they think that God has called them to do in that season. So I dare say that vision makes your life simple. When you discover vision for your life, it becomes very simple. And simple here means that you know what to do all the time. The most difficult thing in life is decision making. And the most difficult thing in life is not making decisions, but knowing what decisions to make. Now, the second most difficult thing is navigating through the alternatives. I wish that sometimes life didn't have all the many alternatives that it does have. Some people have, for example, mastered this art, especially in the smaller decisions. You see some company CEOs, don't let me mention names, that wear like a single color outfit because according to them, they don't want to have to make many decisions around what to wear, color to wear, and things like that. So they focus their mind on the big decisions that they have to make and invest all their time in it. And I'm not saying that you need to wear only one color, but it's important to note that, alternatives are there, and having to review or make decisions on them sometimes take out of the time that you require. Vision takes away all other things from your purviews, takes away all other alternatives, and keeps you aligned to the thing that you've been called to do. So when people ask you, for example, to come and do something, your first question is this thing in line with my vision? Is it in line with what God is asking me to do? And it's so important because vision protects you from doing good things. I'm not saying that is bad. I'm saying vision protects you from doing good things. Now, the greatest weapon that the enemy has brought is the weapon of distortion. So his strategy is not to make you do bad things actually, but to get you involved in doing good things that are not the right things for you to do. Vision tells you the right thing to do. Life tells you the good things to do. And until you find the vision, you can sometimes spend a lifetime doing good things that are not right for you. And you end up being busy, but not effective. Life is not about being busy, but about being effective. So as I round this conversation up, take time to ask yourself, am I being clear on my vision? Do I know what it is? And if I do know what it is, am I committed to this? Am I disciplined to it? Am I being effective? The goal is not to be the jack of all trades and master of none. The goal is to be effective in whatever you have been called to do, and those things align with God's vision for your life. So I pray that as you glean on guidance from God in this season, that He would open your eyes to see, He would reveal Himself to you, and all of this revelation is stemmed from His Word, stemmed from the Bible, stemmed from the things that He tells you. And I pray that His revelation will help you stay on course. Yeah? Lots of love, and speak soon.